Everyone, today I'm going to be doing a boil test on this fancy little Supercat stove I made out of a can of Fancy Feast, and I used a hole punch. For the boil test, I will be boiling 2 cups of water. I'm using a 700 milliliter Toaks titanium pot, and I will also be using this caldera cone that I fashioned out of aluminum because that will help contain the heat and it will speed up the boiling process. I've added 1 ounce of Heet, good old Heet. You can also use denatured alcohol as your fuel. Never hold a lighter to the alcohol unless you want to burn all the hair off your hand and possibly your fingers. Always use a match, or if you're outdoors, dip a stick in your fuel like that and then hold the stick to your stove. So let me light this up. Okay, it is lit. It might be hard to see. Now you can see it there. And I'm going to let this heat up until my heat gets, until the alcohol in there, otherwise known as heat, H-E-E-T, starts to get a nice little boil to it. Then I'll know the stove's ready to go ahead and stick my pot on. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and start the timer over here. So it usually doesn't take too long for this thing to heat up. We are almost there. And as far as the temperature of the water I'm using, I put cold tap water in the pan. This is my pan here. And I'm going to get my cone in place. And it looks like that alcohol is just about ready. And we're good to go. Let me get this pan on here. There we go, and I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And I'll let you know when when I get a nice boil going on it. It's putting out some good heat, man. I'll be back. Okay, we're coming up on 4.5 minutes. I figured I would check in and see how we're doing here. We are almost to a boil. So I'm going to predict that within the next minute I'll have a nice rolling boil. Now shortly I will be putting up a video. I am in the process of making a simmer ring for this. One of the biggest complaints about alcohol stoves are that they're mainly just for boiling water. You can't simmer with them. If you want to simmer, you need to buy a canister stove. That's simply not true. I'm going to be fashioning a little 1 1/4 inch ring that's going to fit around the outside of my Supercat stove, and that will actually spread the flames out a little more. It'll keep them from going up around the sides of the pan, and it should probably double my boiling time, which will mean I will be able to simmer. Okay, we are at 5.5 minutes, and let's see, we've got a nice boil going there. Nice boil in under 6 minutes. Not too shabby. Now I'm going to let that stove continue, and we're going to go ahead and see how long these flames go. How much longer I get. Wow, I still have a ton of fuel in there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of fuel in there. So, I mean, I probably only used a 1/2 ounce of fuel to get this water to a boil. Pretty efficient. Not too shabby. All right, I'll check back in and I'll let you know how long I get out of this ounce of fuel. Okay, so I'm just about 11 minutes into this boil test. Our water boiled in under 6 minutes, around 5.5. I actually took the pan off and I just kind of wanted to let the stove go to see how long this fuel would last. I realized that upon measuring this, I may have put a little bit more than 1 ounce in, and I mean, I was a little over the line, so it's a tiny bit more than 1 ounce of fuel I put in there, but it's still going pretty strong. And it's almost done there. Almost out. So I'm going to say We'll call it 12 minutes because it's going to be out any second now. So that is not bad for this little 30-cent alcohol stove. Under 6-minute boil time, ounce of fuel, little over an ounce, lasts just about 12 minutes. I could have boiled 4 cups of water in that amount of time. So I'm happy with it, and this is most likely the stove I will be taking with me on the Appalachian Trail this spring or summer, whenever I manage to make it out there. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be having more reviews coming up in the future, so stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Happy Hicker is out. Aloha.